Where did the Italian feast of the seven fishes come from on Christmas Eve?
So traditionally, on the vigils of big feasts, the church had Catholics fast to prepare for them. So Christmas Eve, when it fell on Sunday, it wouldn't be necessarily appropriate to fast and do penance on Sunday because it's a mini resurrection. So the church allowed Catholics, even in the old days, to transfer the Christmas Eve fast to the 23rd at their choice. So this year, for instance, when Christmas Eve falls on a Sunday, and if even though it doesn't bind under sin, so many of these things have been taken away. Nonetheless, if you want to follow the traditional practice, you could fast on Saturday, and that even in the old days would have been how you did it. So because the Christmas Eve was a day of fast and abstinence, many cultures developed these wonderful practices of having a festive dinner, because first Vespers of Christmas would happen on Christmas Eve, maybe around 5 p.m. or so. So there would have been a meal, but it had to still be without meat. And so the Italians developed this wonderful tradition, custom of having this 7-course meal that had no meat in it. Well, I guess the Italians, I'm not sure that they required all 7 courses to be fish, but maybe it is because they do call it the 7 fishes. The Polish have something called Vigilia, and they have 7 different courses, I believe. It can be actually multiples as long as it's odd number. They didn't require fish, but they, of course, required it to be without meat. So they had some other wonderful things like some sauerkraut and other little salads and things. Different cultures had different things. So that's where the reason that the Italians do that, even though, strictly speaking, the abstinence from meat doesn't bind anymore, the Italians have kept alive that tradition, and that's why they have a 7-course meal of fish on Christmas Eve traditionally.
Excellent. I wanted to throw Father Brancich, FSSP, under the bus. We had a question come in when he was on the show asking about the feast of, it's an Italian feast, right? It's the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Is that what it's called?
The Feast of the Seven Fishes. Yes, it's a practice of Italian Americans, particularly those from southern Italy or Sicily, which is where sort of trace my lineage back on my mom's side to. And the practice of that is that on the vigil of Christmas, so the 24th of December, historically was a day of fasting and abstinence, even up until 1962. But they would find their sort of way around it to celebrate, and they would have this big dinner with all different types of seafood. And the idea was that you have 1 different type of seafood for a total of 7, representing the different sacraments. Different families might have different traditions, but the way I did it growing up was 7 fish for 7 sacraments. And so we'd have clams and crab and shrimp and squid and all sorts of different things. It was a great time.
He was just trying to determine if it was strictly 7 different fish or if it was a variety of seafood. It seems like in your family, it was a variety of different seafoods as representations of the different sacraments.
No, we would joke around saying that if you had a fish, it would count for like 5 or something like that, because you never really know what's in there. But we would try to do 7 different types. Exactly. Yeah. So like I said, clams, mussels, shrimp, crab, squid, all different types of things.